What's going on, guys? Rogue TCG here, bringing another Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG deck profile. Now, the last profile I did was Eldritch, and that is a deck that I'm currently playing this format. And this is also another deck that I'm playing this format, being Evil Twin. Now, this deck, just like Eldritch in the last set, has gotten a lot of support. And by a lot, I mean 2 cards, but those 2 cards are more than enough. And so I decided to bring the list to you today. So, today I bring Evil Twin. Now, the gimmick of Evil Twin is we have our live twins in the main deck, being Kiss-a-Kill and Leela's, and then we can pivot using these monsters, specifically in name, to go into our Evil Twins in the extra deck, either Kiss-a-Kill or Leela's, or neither of which Trouble Sunny. And just so happens that all of our Kiss-a-Kills in the extra deck that are fiends, because all of our fiendish, evil live streamers are all fiends, all the Kiss-a-Kills are light fiends, which means Fiendsmith slots perfectly into it, and it seems like it was just designed for that. So, that's enough yapping about the overall deck profile. Let's go through the card by card and then do a live game afterwards. So, starting off our list, we're on triple copies of Kiss-a-Kill. Each time your opponent declares an attack, you gain 500 life points while this is face up on the field. If this card is normal or special summon and we control no other monsters, we can special summon a Leela monster from our hand or our deck, and that is a hard once per turn. Pretty decent effect, one of our best starters because it is a Kiss-a-Kill that we can normal summon and it will get an additional body on the field, although sometimes we don't even want to be activating that effect in case our opponent has something like a DDD Wave Hiking Caesar, which will negate and then destroy our Kiss-a-Kill. We're also on triple copies of Kiss-a-Kill Frost. If we control Leela, we can special summon this card from our hand. We can only summon it once per turn that way. Once per turn that way. And if a card is added from the main deck to our opponent's hand by a card effect, while we control an Evil Twin monster, we can banish this card from our graveyard and then draw a card. Pretty middling effect to be honest. It's a freebie extender if we have a Leela on our field. We're trying to play more Kiss-a-Kills than Leelas, even though we are technically on more Leelas than on Kiss-a-Kills. However, this is just, again, another normal summon that will translate to full Fiendsmith combo. We're also on 2 copies of our original live twin Leela. Your opponent must pay 500 life points to declare an attack. If it's normal or special, and we control other monsters, we can summon a Kiss-a-Kill monster from our hand or deck. So it's the opposite version of Kiss-a-Kill, but we're playing less copies of it because it is not a Kiss-a-Kill monster. It's a good starter, don't get me wrong, if you get to normal summon it and it resolves, you are Bing Chiling. But, are you realistically going to be able to do that this format? It's kind of up in the air. But a card that does make it a little bit easier is our next card, which is new, being Live Twin Leela Sweet. When our opponent activates a card or effect in response to our Live Twin card or effect activation, we can discard this card to negate your opponent's effect. It's just a negate. If our opponent's trying to interact with us, it'll negate their interaction. One note, it'll only work with our live twins, not our evil twins. So you do need to consider that in terms of if you open this in your hand, what you're actually going to be using it on. I'm trying out 3 copies of this card because I do enjoy the fact that it is just a way to interrupt hand traps, especially on our starters, being Kiss-a-Kill and Leela, but that does require us to open either Kiss-a-Kill or Leela, and then also Leela Sweet. So in order to try and open all that, we're trying to maximize our amounts of how many we're playing. And then our last main deck, Kiss-a-Kill or Leela, is 1 copy of Live Twin Leela Treat. Very similar to Kiss-a-Kill Frost. If you control a Kiss-a-Kill, we can special summon this card from our hand, and we can only special it once per turn that way. When either player takes damage from battle involving an Evil Twin monster, we can banish this card from our graveyard, target a face-up monster our opponent controls, and it will permanently lose attack equal to the battle damage that either player took during the previous, requirement. Significantly worse than Kiss-a-Kill Frost. We're quite literally only playing it because it is another Leela that isn't the other 2, and that it's a free extender from hand if we do have it in hand, so it's not the worst. But it is quite, I think it's the worst card in the live twin archetype in the main deck. That's it for our monsters. Now we're on triple copies of the Live Twin Rhoda. When activated, it'll add a Live Twin monster from deck to hand. It is a Live Twin card, so we can stop it from getting interacted with Live Twin Leela Sweet. And also, it's our win con in time. Each time your opponent normal or special summons a monster, we gain 200 and they lose 200, so every summon, it's a 400 difference between our life points. But that's it for our live twins. We're also on Fiendsmith, being triple copies of Engraver, 1 Lacrima, 1 Lurie. one tracked, and a fiendsmith in paradise. For our anti-hand trap tools, we're playing a lot of hand traps in this list, both in the main and the side, so we're playing a lot of tools in order to play against them, being one copy of Crossout, one copy of Call by the Grave, and one copy of Triple Tactics Talents. For our hand traps, we're trying to play hand traps that both stop us and are very good into the meta right now. So we're playing triple copies of Ash, triple copies of Imperm, triple copies of Mulcharmy and Fualos, triple copies of Droll and Lockbird, double copies of Ghost Spell and Haunted Mansion, and double copies of Nibiru the Primal Being. In our extra deck, let's cover our Evil Twins. The new card, Evil Twin Kisakil Deal. It is a Link 1 monster. Link 1 Light Fiend. Where does that sound familiar? I like muskets, and, this is very reminiscent for that. So it just needs one Kisakil monster, which is why we're so Kisakil focused in this deck. And Ignition Effect, once per turn, we can send a Leela monster from our deck or extra deck to the graveyard to apply this effect. That is for cost, so we do just send it to the graveyard. For the rest of the turn, each time your opponent activates a card or effect in response to our Kisakil or Leela monster's effect activations, we get to draw a card when their effect resolves. So it's just going to give us additional draws. How much of the time are we actually going to be getting draws from this? Probably not too much, to be completely honest. We're in a Droll format right now. We're only really planning on adding one throughout the course of our main combo via Sunny Snitch. Although, we can add extras with Fiendsmith Engraver and Triple Tactics Talents. And we do also want to be drawing off of cards like our Kisakil Frost, which can trigger off of our opponent's Mulcharmies. So, we gotta kind of pick and choose what we're able to do. And so we're going to be always going to be doing the effect to get that dump, which is fantastic because Leela's sweet. If we control a face-up Kisakil and it's in our graveyard, it's a free special summon to the face-up monster zone. It doesn't even banish itself, which is fantastic. And then we're locked into the extra except for fiends. The thing with Kisakil Deal, it doesn't actually do too much other than being a light fiend and getting a free dump, but that's actually more than enough. We're on 2 copies of it just to play around Kashtira Unicorn. For our other Evil Twins, we're on double copies of Evil Twin Kisakil and double copies of Evil Twin Leela. Kisakil needs 2+ monsters, including a Kisakil. If it's special summon and control a Leela, we can draw a card. During the main phase, if we do not control a Leela monster, quick effect, we can special summon a Leela from our graveyard, and then we're locked from the extract for the rest of the turn except for Fiends. And then Leela has a very, very similar effect. It needs 2+ monsters, including a Leela. If it's special summon and we control a Kisakil, we can target a card on a field and pop it. During the main phase, if we do not control a Kisakil, we can quick effect target a Kisakil in our graveyard and special it, but we're locked from the extra deck except for Fiends. Very, very similar effects. This one will draw if it's special summon and we have a Leela. This one will pop if it's special summon and we have a Kisakil. We're also on 1 copy of Evil Twin Trouble Sunny, another light fiend in our extra deck, but it is a Link 4. Quick effect, we can tribute this card, special summon up to 1 Kisakil monster and 1 Leela monster from our graveyard. You can banish this card from your graveyard, send 1 Evil Twin monster from our hand or deck to the face-up graveyard, hand or deck or face-up on field to the graveyard to send 1 card on the field to the graveyard, which is non-targeting, non-destruction removal, which is just fantastic. Now, are we going to be going into this all the time during our turn 1? Most definitely not. But it is very nice to have that option of a non-targeting, non-destruction removal in a deck that functionally only has that in archetype. But that's it for our Evil Twins. Now let's cover our Fiendsmith cards. We're on 1 copy of Requiem, 1 copy of Sequence, 1 copy of Agnum Day, 1 copy of Desiree, and Necroquip and DDD Wave Hacking Caesar. For extra little cards we're playing in the extra deck, we're on 1 copy of number 65, Jin Buster. It needs 2 level 2 dark monsters, and it's just a monster negate we can attach to materials to negate the activation of a monster effect. And if you do, ping them for 500 damage, which is really actually thematic when you consider the fact that the dark one is Leela, and Leela does ping them for 500 damage when they try to declare an attack. Just a little note, not anything actually relevant in terms of gameplay. Except for time matters, Time is important, and this deck is really good into playing into time because, again, Kisakil, Leela, and our Sunny Snitch all play into time in our favor. We're also on 1 copy of Abao Aku, the Lightless Shadow. The main purpose of this card is a fiend in our extra deck that we're able to access at all points in the game, but also, a lot of the times, we're just locked into their Fiendsmith plays. We have lost access to our live twins, our evil twins, and we just don't really have a great way of getting them back into rotation. This is a fantastic card to allow us to get one of those cards from our graveyard back on our field so we can perform a Link Summon into one of our evil twins, which is honestly something the deck is really missing in archetype. just a way to free recur anything. So I am opting to play a Balaku over a Typhon for that purpose. In our side deck, it's going to be completely subjective to the metagame, of course, I always say that. We're on triple copies of Lancia for Malice, as well as a Sanctum for Malice, one copy of D-Barrier for Ryziel and Mitsurugi, as well as any other errant strategies, like, for example, Blue Eyes like Synchro Summoning, but they can also Fusion Summon. Crystron likes Synchro Summoning, but they also Xyz Summon, so we kind of got to pick and choose when we're actually putting D-Barrier in our deck. We're also on triple copies of Thrust in order to grab our copies of Talents when we know we're going second, as well as if we're going first, we can put in the Thrust in order to grab D-Barrier or Sanctum. Other cards we're on is 2 copies of Chaos Hunter, again for Malice, 1 copy of Magnuma, Druisworm, and Baldrake for Fiendsmith related piles, although these are fairly cuttable to be completely honest, and double copies of the other Mulcharmy Perulia. But that's going to be about it for the main deck. Extra deck and side deck. Now let's jump into a quick live test game. Alrighty, here we are. I just joined the queue. You can see we're in gold, not really the best rank to be completely honest, but the season did reset a little bit less than a month ago, and I haven't really had the time to grind, unfortunately, so we do what we can, although I am expecting to go against something meta. Let's go for a rock here. And we lose. The rock, you failed me once more, but we do have a rock in our opening hand, so hopefully it'll be able to redeem itself. They are on Fire King, okay. So this rock may come in handy. We're just going to toggle off, and we're going to wait until the end phase. I'm probably going to speed up all of their plays, and once we use the rock, I'll, tune back in. Alrighty, that is their 4th summon right there, being the Reborn of the Ponic. So let's toggle back in. They're going for a Promethean Princess here. And we can honestly cut them off here. Unless they have a Kirin in hand, which they do not, we are going to be able to Nibiru them. And they're just going to be able to hold onto that token for us. They're going to pass turn to us. We do have a crossout and a copy of Live Twin Leela. Sweet, so you should be able to play through things. Here is the downside to Nibiru, though. We have to control no other monsters in order to special summon a Leela from our deck. So we're not actually able to use the effect of our Live Twin Kisakill. So let's see what we're able to accomplish. Let's normal summon our Kisakill. Is our opponent going to interact with us? No, okay. Then we're going to go into a deal. And let's see if there's interaction here. They don't have a fire for their Promethean Princess, so we don't have to worry too much about that. And they did link off their Ponic, so it's not going to be coming back as well. They're big thinking on this. They didn't even activate the effect. They're going Effect Veiler. We are not playing an Effect Veiler, so that is fine. We're still going to activate the deal, because it does send for cost. We're sending a Sweet. It's negated, perfectly fine. We're going to bring back that Sweet from the graveyard. Sweet has hit the board now. Now we're going to be able to go either into Fiendsmith plays, or we can go into our Kisakill plays. Since we do have a Leela already on field, we're just going to go into our Fiendsmith plays and see if they interact at that. Otherwise, we can use Nibiru in our Leela in order to go into our Evil Twin Leela. They do have a Dominus Impulse. We do not have an interaction point for that, which is fine. And now we can go Nibiru and Leela into our Leela. We're going to go Leela, target Kisakill in our graveyard. Let's bring back the baby one. So baby one has hit the board now. And now we can bring back into Kisakill. We can go Kisakill effect in order to special summon from our graveyard the Leela. So let's just bring that back. We're going to go Leela effect. Of course, we have to get through this sanctuary before we can get to this island, which is a little unfortunate, but we are going to be doing just that. So let's get rid of that sanctuary. And now here we do have decisions to make. We could go into a Trouble Sunny and, quick effect, Reborn once more, which I think we actually might be doing here, to be completely honest. We could also just maintain this board state or go for an A-Bow in order to bring back that Requiem in order to make sure it resolves again next turn. So actually, I think we'll go for a Trouble Sunny here after combat. We're just going to get some damage in. Let's get in for 11. We're going to go to main phase 2. We're going to go into a Trouble Sunny. Yeah, and then we're just going to set one, because they don't have a Skybird in the graveyard, so no matter what they set up, we're just going to pop their island. We're just going to set one, and we're just going to pass it back to our opponent, holding a droll and having full combo once more. They're going to go island to pop and then add a Fire King. Perfect point in order to droll them, which is very nice. Let's see what they're going to be able to add. Whatever they are adding doesn't matter because they're not going to be able to get the... Oh, Ponix! Oh, you want to search some more? Oh, that's quite interesting. Because we are going to be able to go Droll, and then we're going to be able to go Trouble Sunny. Because they did pop their Garunix, so it doesn't matter if their Garunix gets popped again. So we're going to special summon our Leela, and then we're going to special summon our Kisakil. Now, we're not going to be able to get that draw off of our Kisakil because we did droll ourselves, but we will be able to get that pop off of our Leela. And they're just deciding what they want to pop from the deck, and they're going Prom Princess. Okay. Targeting our Kisakil, we're going to do this, target their Fire King Island, and we're going to allow our Kisakil to die. And now their Fire King Island should trigger on a new chain in order to pop their Prom Princess, so they can't use the Reborn effect. They're going Kieran Chainlink 2. I guess you could go Kieran Chainlink 2 to either summon Arvada or Ulcanix, maybe? We can go our Leela here in order to just cycle once more for our Kisakil, just to make sure we have bodies on our board. Tournament starting 25 minutes. Thank you, Yu-Gi-Oh! Omega. Thank you so much. And oh, by the way, I always get comments asking what application this is. This is Yu-Gi-Oh! Omega. It's completely free. Yeah, they summon their Arvada and pop our Kisakil, sure. Ponix is going to trigger in hand to special summon, although they are under Droll. They're going to go Arvada to special summon from Graveyard. I don't know what they're going to accomplish with that, except for running over our Leela, but, you know, that's fine. They do also still have Prom Princess in the Graveyard, which is frustrating to say the least. So no matter what, if they're ending on a fire monster on their side of the board, they're going to be able to do stuff. They're not going to be able to add anything with Ponix, so, you know, not too concerned there. And they're going to link 2 into a Hita. Do we have a fire? We do not have a fire. So, sure. But we also have came to the conclusion during this game that they're probably not on the same types of hand traps that we're on. Ulcanix also can't do anything. They're going to a second Prom Princess, sure. Are they going for the Prom Princess Zelantis OTK? If they are, we are kind of screwed. But I'm just not sure if they're on like the Salmon Grade penis, whatever. So they do have a monster gate now with Arvata. We do have the suite for that, so we're not super concerned. Yep, they're going to run over our Leela, and then we're going to take 18. Okay, and they're going to pass it back to us. We do still have the Trouble Sunny in the graveyard. We draw a Kisakil for a turn, which is perfectly fine. And now let's just normal summon our Kisakil. We're going to go normal Kisakil, Kisakil effect. They're going to go Arvada, and then we're going to go Leela Suite. Yep, they're gonna Arvada, and we're gonna Leela Sweet. And with Leela Sweet, we're going to special summon Leela Treat. Or not with Leela Sweet, with Kill. But because Leela Sweet, we can special summon Leela Treat. Very funny archetype naming convention. They're gonna pop our Kill probably. No, they're popping our Leela. Sure. Imagine that's going to trigger Garunix. Garunix is going to pop their Kieran in deck, and then Kieran's going to special and then pop. That's problematic, actually. Yep. Bringing back Ponix. Ponix is going to be able to search. They're popping our Kill. Yeah. Damn. That is unfortunate. We did have a lot of the answers throughout the course of the game. Maybe it was correct to go into A-Bow in order to get the recurable Fiendsmith line online, but hindsight's 20/20, of course. Yeah, and we don't have anything else to be doing, so we're just going to surrender. Let's try inside and make sure we're able to take this other game down. Side in our thrust, because they were on a handful of hand traps, although it won't be very applicable for the Dominus. Let's put out the Molcharmies. I don't realistically know what else to be putting in here, to be honest. I think we just change out the Fool losses for the thrusts and call it. And hopefully we're able to at least not lose 2-0. That'd be a little bit embarrassing, but you know, this is Yu-Gi-Oh! It is what it is. You open random 5 cards, they open random 5 cards. Sometimes their cards are just better than your random 5. So, they're debating on what they want to be playing for side deck cards. Probably Bystials, to be honest. Bystials are great for us because it does turn on our thrust. We are keeping in the Crossout, specifically for cards like Ash Blossom and Nibiru. Although we did completely side out of Molcharmy, so, you know, we're not really protected against that unless we draw explicitly Called by the Grave, or they use it on, like, the activation of our Kill and we have a Sweet in hand, then we're fine. But we're just going to be, you know, waiting here for a moment. Oh, I guess not for a moment. We're going to try going first. Really good hand, actually. Really, really good hand. Actually, Lurie in the hand isn't fantastic with Engraver, but, you know, it's fine. It's fine. We don't have a way for our Evil Twins to get to our side, get to our hand right now. We don't have any Kills, so let's actually get this first in case they do have Droll. And if we did have Sweet here, Sweet would be useful against Ash. They doesn't look like they have much though. So here we're just going to grab normal Kill. And here's the Droll checkpoint. They don't have a Droll. Okay. We're going to try for Engraver then. We're going to grab Trekt. Are we going to get Drolled here? If they do have... It does look like they're waiting on Droll, but it looks like they also might have a Molcharmy in their hand as well. Which can be problematic. We're going to go for Trekt here. Because that's the only situation where I would consider that they wouldn't Droll is if they have a Molcharmy. We're going to add another copy of Engraver. And then we're going to pitch Fabled Lurie. Lurie's going to trigger here. It's going to special summon itself out here. And then here's the Molcharmy checkpoint. They don't have a Molcharmy. Okay, cool. Let's go into a Requiem. And then let's go Requiem. Here's the second Molcharmy checkpoint. They have an Ash. Okay. That's what they were thinking on, I think. That's fine. Let's go normal Kill. Let's go for Kill effect. Here's where a Dominus Impulse would work fine for them. Although it wouldn't really change the math too much at all because we have Treat in hand. Although they don't. Doesn't look like they have anything. So we're just going to special summon a... Interesting. We could go into a Djinn Buster, but then we couldn't really go into much else. Oh, actually, we totally could. We totally could. So let's special summon our Leela. Keep in mind we do still have Engraver effect in Graveyard in case anything happens. So next action here we want to do Deal, but it does look like they might have a Nibiru, so let's summon that Deal just so we have another Light Fiend in rotation. And let's go Deal effect in order to make sure that resolves. Let's send a Sweet. And let us special summon from hand our Treat. And now here's where they have to Nibiru us. Okay, they don't have Nibiru. Sweet. Even if they do, they're not going to resolve it. Now let's go Leela Sweet in order to special. And now we can go for our actual plays. We can go into a Kill here for a Leela. I guess we go into a Kill here so we can get that draw one. Kill, we're going to go Kill effect to special. They have an Imperm. Okay. Since they did respond, we do get to draw. We drew a Leela Sweet, which is useful for next turn. We're going to go Engraver here. We're going to put back this Lurie. We're going to bring out the Engraver, and now we can keep playing, kind of. Not really. We could go into an Avow here using absolutely everything, although that probably isn't worth it. We could go into Desiree here, Desiree Agnum Day. That doesn't seem like the worst. It does turn off our Evil Twins for the time being, but we have another Sunny Snitch, so it's not the end of the world. So yeah, let's go into our sequence. Looks like they're thinking here, how many fucking hand traps do you have? How many? How many? We're gonna go sequence here. They have the second Imperm. We do get cooked, but you know, they do have the second Imperm, so we do get cooked. Okay. Double Imperm Ash. Sure dog, sure. Yeah, this is gonna be our board. One monster negate. Okay, yeah. And it looks like they have Nibiru too. Those two cards in the hand that actually do something better be fucking crazy. Our hand's quite good for the follow-up. We have another search. We have a negate for our search, and as well for the thing it searches if they don't negate the search. We have another Engraver. We do have another target in our deck, being the trap card. Jesus, they have... does this negate and destroy? No, it negates the activation. We kind of have to Djinn Buster here. I don't know what they're going to be destroying in their hand, so I do want to stop them from destroying something like a Garunix, potentially. Normal Summoning Ash. Typhon, okay. No, Almirage. Because a monster is destroyed by battle, they can special summon Garunix. Okay, so they did have a Garunix in hand. It was correct to Djinn Buster there. Their hand was double Ash, double Imperm, Garunix, or Kieran, and they drove to return the other one. That's fucking... wow. Wow. Craft your own hand, huh? That's crazy. Popping Ulcanix. Ulcanix is gonna special summon their other Garunix. And they're gonna be able to run over our... no, actually, it's special to defense. It is in defense, yes. So they're going to be able to run over one of our things, being the Djinn Buster that's no longer online. Why wouldn't they run over the sequence? No fucking clue, dog. No clue. So we know card in hand is Kieran. They know we have Garunix. We know they have other Garunix. They could go into an 8 here. That would turn off the Kieran, theoretically. We don't have a fire in graveyard, I don't think. No, we do not. So no Hita plays. They are going into an 8. They're going into the field wipe in order to remove our sequence as well as our sequence. And our Sunny Snitch. Okay. And they're passing. What does this actually do? Nothing. Well, not nothing. They're gonna pop it with their Kieran. When it's destroyed, they're gonna bring back their Gurunex, pop another thing. Okay. We do have the Ash Blossom for nothing, actually. I forgot their deck plays like utterly and completely around Ash. Okay. We're gonna go for a Necroquip play in order to draw an additional card. Here we're gonna put back our sequence. So we're gonna get our Engraver on field. I think we might go for an A-Bow, so we're gonna be able to pitch that trap off the Engraver. Let's go Requiem here, target our Engraver. We could Engraver here to just force it out. That is also a play that we could do. It's a play I'm actually really considering, to be completely honest. Although I am a greedy man and I want the Necroquip draw. So let's go for a Necroquip. And let's go for Engraver in hand. We know the only interaction they have is Kieran, so we can kind of just play. Necroquip is going to be able to draw a card. Imperm, a little too late, unfortunately. We're going to go Sunny Snitch. And with this, we're going to add a Frost from deck to hand. We haven't seen Frost yet, so let's get Frost. Yeah. Hold it like it's Droll. Hold it like it's Droll. You're not tricking me, bro. You're not tricking me. Can't trick me. Here's a pretty good opportunity for them to Kieran after the normal summon, to be completely honest. If they don't Kieran immediately, we can just bring this back. Because Kieran's a little bit too slow in order to remove immediately, I'm fairly certain. At least in terms of what they got going on. It's like 2 chains slower than they would really like it to be. Now we can go into a second piece of kill deal. We don't want to see the last suite in our deck, so we're just going to dump it with our deal. We do want to see the other Leela, ideally. That would be a good draw if they manage to clear our board again. So let's just send our last suite. And now they can't really do their Kieran in response to anything. So let's keep playing. We do have the Kisakil in Graveyard, so we can go these two for a Leela. And then we can go Leela effect in order to special summon. We're going to special summon Deal. And then here we're going to be able to go into an A-Bow. We're going to go A-Bow effect. We're going to pitch our Paradise, and we're going to banish and special summon with it. We're going to banish, and we're going to special summon out our Kisakil, ideally. Let me just make sure I got this right. Yep, we're going to summon our Kisakil. Then we're going to go Kisakil effect. With our Kisakil, we're going to be able to grab the old Leela that we just made. And we do have the ability to Leela here to pop a card. We're not doing that. It'll just do what they want to do, but it'll make them retain their Kieran in hand. And then here we can go into a sequence to force it out. We could also go into a Trouble Sunny here. I think Trouble Sunny would actually be quite powerful. We could also go for Agnum Day in order to accomplish what we would like. That might actually be worth it in order to at least force that out. I think we'll go for our Evil Twin plays. We'll go into a Trouble Sunny. And we can get an additional draw off Trouble Sunny if we would like here. I think we will do the additional effect of Trouble Sunny here to do it. And we're also going to... Main reason we're doing this is so we can target and send that to the graveyard while still getting a draw with our evil twins. So let's bring out Leela and Kisakill. Leela, Kisakill. We're going to be able to draw one, and we're not going to be using our Leela. Another Imperm, okay. We're going to go Trouble Sunny effect. We're going to be sending our... let's send our Kisakill to the graveyard. And here is where they have to Kieran. They do have to Kieran here, but no matter what, I'm going to be able to send something they control to the graveyard. In which case here it's going to be Kieran. We're not going to go Paradise here. They're going to be able to go their Garunix and then other Garunix in order to bring back out Kieran. They're bringing out Ulcanex. Thinking here. I need to double check. Destroy fire in your hand, deck, or face of field except for Garunix. This card will gain half the attack. We will go Paradise here. Right now, we're just trying to empty them of all their resources. They're going to go... Wrong chain link, buddy. Sorry, dog. And then they're going to probably pop another Kieran from their deck so they can bring back and pop. We're going to send a Desiree here. We're going to go Desiree effect, returning a deal to our extra. And we're going to be sending... their Garunix to the graveyard. They're going to go Kieran to special and then pop our Leela. There's Garunix. They're going to get pinged. That wasn't summoned off of the actual Garunix effect. So we're kind of chilling on that. We're going to set 2, we're going to get Abal back, and we're going to get our Evil Twin stuff live once more. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Swapping that to attack, it's fine. They're going to move to next phase. That's fine. Right now here they're trying to trigger their Garunix, and they're gonna run that in. That's fine. They're going to go Ponix, and then they're going to go Garunix. Why are we... Oh, this is in the damage step, I see. That was not... That's unfortunate. I didn't realize it all happened in the damage step. Arvata special Kieran out. You're gonna run over that. You're gonna get... It's fine. 24, and then 13. Okay. Sure. Here we're gonna hope they overcommit into like a prom princess or something, and then we are able to imperm that. And hopefully keep it on field, although not really sure if we're really gonna be able to do that. Again, we do still have the Fiend Smith cards in order to try and restabilize, although we're gonna need a hell of a draw off the top. They do have a Skyburn here. How many are they gonna pop? I imagine 2. I guess might as well just do this here. Target. It would have been good to know that if we targeted and negated Garunix, its attack lowered, but you know. I thought that was an effect that was already properly applied. I guess reading the card does not explain the card, but whatever. Hita, and then Prom Princess. We have a fire. Oh, we did Ash. Fuck. Yeah, that is the end of the game. Although, you know, you can't really win them all. I kind of played like an ape, to be completely honest. So I kind of did deserve to lose that one. I think that second game was completely within our grasp in order to win. I just didn't really properly read my opponent's cards. So, you know, not really a deck building issue, more of a pilot issue, to be completely honest. But that's going to be about the end of the video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you still are, thank you my one member. Thank you, Ari. If you're not a member, please stay tuned to the end of all my videos where I go over benefits there. But that's going to, again, be at the end of the video. So, again, thank you once more for watching. I'll be seeing you all later. Bye-bye. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you wanted to talk to more Yu-Gi-Oh! Players like yourself, I would highly recommend checking out our Discord server. Link is going to be in the description, as well as the QR code on screen. We do talk somewhat frequently about Yu-Gi-Oh! And the current meta, so I would really enjoy to see you there. As well as we do recently now have channel memberships available on our YouTube channel, where we have 3 different tiers. We have Super Supporter at $2 a month, where you get loyalty badges, emojis, guaranteed comment responses, a shout out at the end of every video, as well as access to the members only Discord channel, where you get early sneak peeks at future videos. There is the Giga Supporter at $5 a month, where you have early access to all new videos about a day or 2 before they go up, as well as all the previous offers. And for $15 a month, we do have our final tier, which is going to be Femboy Fanatic. You get a guaranteed customized video every single month, as well as 1 hour of my time. Could be for anything you'd like. You want a duel? Absolutely. You want me to help build a deck? Absolutely. You want to play some Helldivers? Sure. I'll do anything for an hour once a month. But supporting does help me out quite a lot, and it does help me produce all of these videos. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll be seeing y'all later. Bye-bye.